Season's greetings from Galway Chamber. What a season it's been, and indeed what a year 2020 has been. The best way I could describe it in my own mind is like a chameleon of a year. There were so many different parts to the year. We started strong in January, full of the ambitions and the enthusiasm that a new year always brings. Some concerns about Brexit, but many of us were looking at new markets, building and fostering relationships to help our colleagues in business find new customers in new markets, as well as harnessing and developing the relationship even further with the UK so that we could prepare together. Then March came, a pandemic came, and a hard stop. And I think what we've seen since then is the best test of the adaptability, the bounceability, and the resilience of industry, individuals, and indeed our healthcare system. And we have to keep remembering in the back of our mind that this is still about health and well-being as opposed to any other aspect of our lives. Many businesses have hibernated, many have struggled, some pivoted to a degree using the supports of the local enterprise office and Enterprise Ireland, among others, in terms of trying to change and adapt how they do business. Some services have and businesses have performed well, even better than expected, because they were able to pivot some aspect of their offering to help in dealing with the pandemic, and well done to those. We now are at a point where this week a vaccine has arrived in Ireland, and that gives some sense of hope and some degrees of optimism for the future in terms of how we deal with this. Despite all the difficulty and the challenges that some sectors really have endured, there has been good news in 2020 as well. We still continued, despite all that was going on, to see investments into Galway, thanks to our colleagues in the IDA. We still had announcements of some 11 million in Enterprise Ireland Regional Enterprise Development funding, thanks to our colleagues in Enterprise Ireland. And I think the legacy of those investments as those projects are built out and delivered cannot be understated. That's going to see the development of more enterprise, the development of more initiatives and collaboration, and the development of more high-value, sustainable jobs for us, not just in Galway, but in the region. The impact of that will be significant. So those are still positive things that happened in 2020, despite all the uncertainty that was around us. I think if you look at infrastructure, which is something that we're very animated about in Galway Chamber, to be fair, the oral hearing process has completed. This is a large project. Many of you will have seen its trials and tribulations over the year and over the years, but the completion of that is an important piece. That project from Barnet to Briar Hill, when hopefully it is delivered, will have a transformative impact, not just on Galway, but indeed the wider region. If we look, non-statutory consultation is open on 2 of the Bus Connect schemes in the city, and also planning is underway in the delivery of some cycling infrastructure. All of these things we need in Galway. All of these things have been part of our campaign, Get Galway Moving. And as we move into the new year, we know that we're going to have a bumpy-ish start from the news that's evolved this week, but we have to keep in our mind that there is a continuing array of supports in place to try and help business keep doors open and stay afloat during this time. There is a vaccine. Travel will return to some degree in 2021. Certainly our regional airports, Shannon and Knock, are hopeful of that, with on-site testing and all the precautionary measures that will take place. And we do have to have, as I say, some degree of optimism. There will be considerable opportunity as business returns to some degree of normal. Industry will have changed. Many will have become more efficient, removing cost and changing processes. And that has to be seen as an unintended benefit of what has happened. If we look at a broader level, from a European perspective, there's a new European budget, and we look forward to working with our partners in the North West Regional Assembly in terms of how we can potentially leverage opportunity along with national government for Galway. Early in the new year, under the presidency of JP Gilmartin and the voluntary council members of 25 who are on our board, as well as other committees, we have significant plans in terms of working with partners at local authority level, the Western Development Commission, the NWRA, and indeed many other stakeholders, to try and aggregate all the great stuff that's happening and hopefully create some consensus messaging from Galway in terms of what's important to us from a policy and infrastructure level over the next few years, and work with political partners, policy partners and funders to try and develop that for this city, this county and the region. So that just gives you a sense of, I suppose, a recap of this year, a sense that yes, things have been difficult, things continue to be difficult. Some are entering a couple of weeks again of closure. Non-essential retail gets to remain open, and all other industry continues to remain open, though cautiously and following the health guidelines, and I think it's important that that's always at the back of our mind. For now, all I want to do is wish you and your families and your colleagues and your friends a happy Christmas. Take some downtime. I think we all need to crawl under a rock for a few days and just refresh, renew and prepare for what will be an interesting, sometimes bumpy, but hopefully opportunity-led 2021. So from myself, my voluntary board and indeed my colleagues in Galway Chamber, I wish you the very best for the coming weeks, and we look forward to working with you again come the 4th of January. Thank you.